What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, back with another video. You guys saw the title thumbnail. This is going to be a garage video with my entire superbike collection. Well, technically we're missing one bike, which is the Agusta Rush. For those that don't know, that bike is being sold currently at Agusta Los Angeles. And we are selling my Rush, as well as I made a video about it recently. The Fireblade, I still have her. We're still not exactly 100% sure if I'm going to be trading in or selling it, but technically that one is also available for sale. Yeah, still not sure if it'll be a trade-in or for sale, but stay tuned just in case it does go for sale, my Fireblade. We still have all the other main bikes around here. I'm going to be ranking my slowest to fastest motorcycle. So while the fastest in the world is actually right here, the almighty Kawasaki Ninja H2. That is my favorite bike and it's my dream bike. Also, recently I was kind of cleaning it a little bit and I noticed a slight gap right here. Do you guys see that? It's kind of all throughout, and there was a little bit of oil leaking from here that I cleaned up, and it was kind of all over. I saw it here after the last ride, and I thought it was just my brake fluid leaking because we got this replaced recently, and sometimes these reservoirs, you know, when you just get them done, they leak a little bit. But I saw that there was some oil here, and I think it's coming from like right here, this crevice right here. So I'm not sure if this is obviously a big issue or not. It could be just a seal, it could be a bigger problem, but regardless, I feel like I should ask someone about this and to get this checked out. You know, we did an unplanned mini top speed run, but obviously it was not a warmer day, but it wasn't also like a cool day, and the temperatures did go up on this thing. Well, at least the boost temperatures did, because we did put 101 race fuel in it. You guys did like that video. There's a lot of comments and all about that. But it's supposed to be healthier for the bike, but now that leak happened after that. It could be coincidence. It could be, I don't know, something not good, and maybe I should go back to 91. Regardless, it's supposedly healthier, but we'll ask about it and we'll investigate sometime soon, or just next time we deal with the H2R. Let's get this video started. First, I'm gonna start showing you guys a bike, and we'll also put some top speed runs or maybe just some pulls with some of the bikes to keep the video more engaging for you guys. We'll start actually with my slowest one. Technically, it's not here at the moment. It is my Agusta Rush, which is being sold. Technically still mine, so we'll just add that. Also, it is obviously I'll just put some cinematics here for you guys so you guys can see it. It is my slowest motorcycle, mainly because it's a naked bike. Agusta does make fast motorcycles. Like, this is a really fast motorcycle. And even the Rush, if you guys don't remember, that's the first bike I see 200 miles an hour on the dash. Believe it or not, on a naked bike, which is my Agusta Rush. Before I bought it, it was a test ride, and then I was like, I saw 200 miles an hour on the dash. I really want that bike now. So I ended up getting it, and yeah, now it's been even more modified and all that, but it's still a very fast bike. Clearly a naked bike that hits 200 miles an hour, basically stock. Like, all I had is a slip-on, the SC slip-on that it comes with, actually part of the package. And it got tuned, but I still had the cats and all that stuff, stock filter, stock pretty much everything, just a muffler and tune, that's all, and it hit 200 miles an hour. So, you know, this, I believe, we'll get to it, but I believe it hit in the 190s, so it was pretty close to the 200, but this is also not tuned at all, so tuning obviously makes a big difference. So we'll see what the Superveloce does later on. But yeah, so the Rush is the slowest one, simply just because I feel like it's a naked bike. It's less aerodynamic. Like, it took a little bit longer to get to those higher speeds, as you guys saw from the video recently. Next up, I'll have to think about it a little bit, to be honest, because, I mean, ideally one day I would love to race all of them, but there's so many factors when racing such high horsepower bikes over here. Like, we're talking about the slowest to fastest yet. Not almost. All of these bikes are over 200 horsepower while being insanely lightweight. Besides, maybe the H2 could be argued as a slightly heavier bike, which is still under 500 pounds. So the power to weight ratio on this garage is absolutely insane. I would say, though, second slowest motorcycle would be my R1M, simply going based off horsepower and top speed. This bike definitely, I feel like, struggles the most up top. It could be like a gearing thing too. The crossplane engine of the Yamaha R1M is known to have a lot of power in the mid-range of the RPM more than up or low. So that could be a huge part of why it feels the way it does, but that's also why it makes for such an amazing track bike. That being said, the R1M only makes 200 horsepower. Believe it or not, only 200 horsepower. I won't cut it in this garage because everything else in here makes more than 200 horsepower. So that's why I would put the R1M in second place. And here's a couple clips of some pulls with the R1M so you guys can hear it. And also so you guys can see how it kind of struggles up top. That being said, I feel like it wouldn't be a fair comparison between these two because this is tuned, all done up, and this is not. Maybe if they're all set up, this might be able to take that just because the R1s are so aggressive, and when you get on the throttle, they just take off right away. It's a good amount of power where you can take off and not fight the bike as much when it comes to wheelies and all. It's a very well balanced bike, which is also why it makes for such an amazing track bike. Third place then would have to go to the Superveloce 1000 Oro. This is MV Agusta's kind of flagship leader super bike at the moment. It is absolutely an art piece. A lot of people call it the Iron Man bike because of that headlight, the colors, you know, the red, the gold, the silver, all that stuff. It is absolutely an art piece. It is a full carbon fiber bike, and it's filled with just carbon, titanium, and a ton of goodies that come stock with it. And of course, I am adding my touch of mods to it, and we'll be adding a little bit more very, very soon actually, coming up to you guys. I would say that this is my third slowest one, even though it's still a really fast bike. I think it's also a gearing thing with this thing. It has bone stock. It's a 41 tooth rear sprocket, which is extremely long. I mean, I'm not really sure what the sprocket is in the front, but just by having a 41 rear, if you guys don't know what that means this is rated for kind of top speed, which is why it might feel a little bit slower down low. Yet again, this is not tuned, so everything can change once this is tuned, I feel like, and fully unlocked, especially now that it has a full exhaust system. This could definitely change, but honestly, even if it does, this bike bone stocks makes 208 horsepower. With an exhaust system, it should be around 215 horsepower. That's without a Dynatune. So we'll call it at 215 horsepower because that's what the MV Agusta Nürburgring is rated at. It's a 215 horsepower naked bike, and believe it or not, the Nürburgring and this have the same engine. The only difference is that the Nürburgring has a full titanium exhaust system, which now this has a full exhaust system that's unrestricted too. So we'll just call it at 215 horsepower since it has a full exhaust system, and of course when you tune it, it should be making even more. But that's pretty much the next jump up from, you know, 200 horsepower to 215 horsepower, or let's just say 208 since we're going based on stock numbers. My fourth slowest motorcycle, can you guys guess? I'm pretty sure it's my M1000RR. That's very, very crazy to say because you guys know this is literally a full track bike. This bike is absolutely insanely fast, but I would say it is also fast, just not in super high gears. It makes a ton of horsepower. Bone stock is 212. This is probably one of my most modified bikes when it comes to horsepower from everything, simply because thanks to BT Moto, almost everything here, by the way, is tuned by Brent Tuning. So check them out if you guys are interested in tuning your bikes, and hopefully soon they're going to be tuning my Superveloce and maybe retuning my H2R. But I have the stage 3 on here, which includes the tune, the relocated IT sensor, which is a thing that you can, it's a little too dark. Let me flash a light for you guys because I would like to show you. There you go. Do you see that silver piece up there at the top sticking out? That's aftermarket, and that's relocated up here so it can measure proper air temperatures and not cut power, because where it was located previously in the air box, it gets hotter over there, and when it gets hotter, the bike automatically restricts the power because it thinks the bike is running hotter. So by relocating here, it's reading fresh air temperatures, which are cooler, therefore not restricting any power. So we have the relocate IT sensor, we have the velocity stacks, we have the air filter, a full exhaust system, and a tune and a breather as well. So this thing is fully done up and it absolutely looks stunning, especially with all the carbon fiber that I've put on it. As you guys see, this is one of the most carbon fiber bikes that I have. Everything on it is custom, including like pieces like this. Even the gas cap is carbon fiber. So absolutely love this bike and absolutely miss riding it. We haven't been riding it because we are still missing a peg that went flying that one time, and we're waiting on one of these from Germany. So it's going to take a little bit, but that is why we're not riding it. I should probably start it sometime soon. So, you know, just to keep the battery and the fluids going. But fourth slowest motorcycle, my BMW M1000RR. After that, we're gonna have to go to the Fireblade. I believe the Fireblade is faster than almost M1000RR. This might get the jump in the start, but I know for a fact that the Fireblade up top should chase it down. This bike is extremely fast. I mean, bone stock, it should be making about 216, 217 horsepower according to Honda, which is absolutely insane. This bike also has a full exhaust system as well as velocity stacks and a tune from BT Moto. So it's fully done up, just out of this world. I love this bike and I really don't want to sell it, but you know, if I didn't mention it in this video, I'm selling my MV Agusta Rush and the Fireblade so I can get the Aprilia RSV4X Trenta. So there you guys have it. This is my fifth slowest motorcycle, and now we're getting into, I mean, we have been in the fast territory right from the start. I believe the only four we have left is the HP4 Race, the Ninja H2, my V4R, and my H2R. Obviously, I mean, I feel like this is the obvious, so we're gonna skip that for now. I'm gonna have to give the HP4 Race, I mean, I would be very interested in actually seeing a race between the HP4 Race and my V4R, but just based on power numbers, I'm gonna have to give it to the HP4 Race, being my sixth slowest motorcycle, which means it barely misses the top three. And I'm only doing that honestly because this vehicle top speeds at a much lower top speed, since this is my true track bike. I've ridden track bikes before, but I've never ridden a truly dedicated track bike like this thing in my life, and it rides absolutely different and it's an animal, especially with that full carbon fiber frame. It's the only bike with a true full carbon frame besides the Ducati Panigale V4 Superleggera. So absolute animal of a machine, and it is insanely fast, 215 horsepower. So it's actually less horsepower than this, but it definitely feels faster than the Fireblade simply because this thing weighs 375 pounds stock wet. This is a little bit modified, so it's even a little bit lighter than that, and it should be around, I would say, 360, 370 pounds. So it is absolutely insanely light, and it's literally unreal how crazy this motorcycle is. Absolutely blows my mind every time I ride it, and I absolutely love this thing. A true full carbon fiber bike besides the tank. That's the only thing that is not carbon on this thing. And technically, I would say the swing arm, the beautiful Suitor swing arm. Those are the only two pieces that are not carbon fiber on this thing. But yeah, with the power to weight ratio of this thing, it definitely, I would say, feels faster than my Fireblade. And if you guys missed it, I'll throw a little video right here. We raced my Fireblade and my M1000RR, and I thought that M1000 honestly would take it, and that's why I'm ranking this way higher, because my HP4 Race absolutely walked my M1000RR. It wasn't even a competition. HP4 Race completely destroyed my M1000RR, even though, as I said, this is stage 3. So this definitely solidifies itself as faster than both my M1000RR and my Fireblade. And now to the top three. We mentioned my sixth slowest motorcycles, and now we'll go to the top three. My third fastest motorcycle would have to be the V4R. I would say the V4R and the HP4 Race is actually close. We might have to battle it out at some point to see which one is actually faster. This definitely will reach the about 180 much faster, but I know the top speed and the Ducatis are absolutely insane. The V4R with a full Acro exhaust system is rated at 224 horsepower, and this is also one of my lightest motorcycles. Bone stock, this thing is at, I believe, 200, that would be insane, is at 425 pounds, and that's with the stock exhaust. So just by changing the exhaust, this thing shaved about 15 pounds. So this thing being full carbon, I've done so much work on this thing. It's still my most expensive build, and I absolutely love this thing. Look at those beautiful forged carbon wheels, carbon tail, carbon sides, carbon front. Everything besides the tank is pretty much carbon fiber. But this is a carbon fiber cover. It's not a true carbon frame, as well as everything else around here, unlike the HP4 Race where it literally is full carbon. So this thing is still probably, I would say, about 30 pounds lighter than my V4R, but this should make a ton more power than my HP4 Race. Therefore, just from riding this beast and enjoying it, I feel like it deserves to have the spot of my third fastest motorcycle, which is a huge thing given that this is the fastest motorcycle besides the two supercharged motorcycles. The final two, I feel like this is the obvious one since this is the H2 and this is the race version of this bike. Second fastest motorcycle is my Ninja H2. My Ninja H2 has pretty much just an exhaust, very high flow filter, and a custom dyno tune for this thing. Absolutely love it. It's the only year that came with the flat chrome color, a ton of carbon, and also I'm adding more features to it sometime very soon. So we're getting more work and done to this so we can enjoy her more, because I absolutely love this thing. This is my OG baby, and you know, I want to ride it as much as I can. The Ninja H2, it made 252 wheel horsepower. This thing definitely weighs under 500 pounds. Bone stock, they're 525 pounds, but after all the mods I've done to it, this thing should be around 475 is what I'm estimating. One day, hopefully. Actually, if this video gets 25,000 likes, that's kind of steep. I know we can do it. We've easily hit higher numbers, but it's a slightly high number. So 25,000 likes. If we hit that, I'm gonna buy the motorcycle scales for these so we can properly weigh all these motorcycles. The motorcycle scales are about $1,000 because they're 3 separate units, one for the front wheel, one for the kickstand, and one for the rear wheel, and they connect via Bluetooth, and that's how you get like a perfect, accurate measurement. So if this video gets, did I say 25? Let's make it 20. If this video gets 20,000 likes, I will buy the motorcycle stand so we can once and for all actually weigh all these vehicles and see the true weight and see if manufacturers lie about their weights or not. Yeah, this thing has been well over 200 miles an hour, definitely. The thing is, most motorcycles are restricted at around like 185, 186, some read up to 189 miles an hour, but they read up to that, but they keep going faster. The speedometer just stops at those speeds. Besides some, like the track bikes, such as H2R, my Rush somehow didn't have a restriction, and the Superveloce doesn't either since it passed the 190 mark. So yeah, somehow MV Agusta doesn't have restrictions on the speedometer, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you, shout out MV Agusta. And of course the track bikes don't have to have these restrictions since they are track bikes. The HP4 Race, that's why I was like, this is a track bike, this is a true track bike. This doesn't even have a speedometer at all, so you don't even know what speeds you're hitting on this bike. The only way I knew the top speed was around 180 because that was GPS verified. So this is why I say this has definitely been over 200 miles an hour, because it hit that restricted speed in 5th gear and it keeps pulling harder and harder. Not right now, because the clutch is slipping on this thing, so it's not performing the best, to be honest, but she's still my second fastest motorcycle. And last and not least, I feel like everyone here knew which motorcycle is the fastest motorcycle, not only in my collection, but in the whole world. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R. That's actually funny. I just realized as I'm saying this is my logo, the K, which I got embroidered on this custom seat, but also it could stand for Kawasaki. So Kawasaki H2R, K, H2R, whatever you want to see it as. I think that's really cool that I completely forgot about. It is probably one of my most craziest carbon builds besides the V4R. I've done more custom work here, but this I think has more carbon fiber, because we even have the carbon fiber subframe, we have the entire carbon fiber tail, every single piece, we have the entire everything here, everything you can think of is pretty much carbon fiber. The side panels, the front tire hugger, I mean, it comes with a beautiful aggressive front face with the wings. Everything else you can think of is pretty much carbon fiber besides the tank, and that should be coming also hopefully sometime in the future. We are going to get a custom carbon fiber tank for the H2R, and at that point it will be truly full carbon fiber. Obviously we can't change this beautiful frame, but I mean, look at that frame. It looks already light and extremely beautiful, so I don't think we need to change that. But the only thing that would be missing is going to be the swing arm, but we have this beautiful carbon fiber cover on it, so at least it looks the part. But besides that, I want to make the world's first, and only as far as I know, full carbon fiber H2R. And also this bike has been tuned, so this bike bone stock according to Kawasaki, because everyone hates how I measure the horsepower of this bike. This bike with ram air going over 200 miles an hour will never be replicated on a dyno. The amount of air going into this massive intake right here is never going to be replicated by a dyno that has the little fans up front that are supposedly emulate the freeway and, you know, put air into the bike while you're running this on the dyno. Besides the dyno room being hotter, there's so many factors, the air not being as clean, so that's why I don't trust completely dyno numbers. And that's why I'm going based off what Kawasaki says this bike makes, which is 326 horsepower with ram air when you're going those crazy speeds. So 326 horsepower. What I can take from the dyno though is the base power it made on the dyno and then how much it made after tuning. And from those two numbers, we found out that it made 250, imagine, 250 wheel horsepower, 25 extra wheel horsepower after tuning the H2R. And since it made an extra 25 wheel horsepower, that's about 35 crank. If you add that to your original 326 horsepower that Kawasaki says it makes, that gives us about 360 horsepower. And that's how I come up with a number that this bike makes 360 horsepower. I would say this probably makes about 300 horsepower. So to have even 60 more horsepower and be so much lighter is insane, because this already feels like time traveling. This just doesn't even make sense. This just feels like teleportation at this point. So by far my fastest motorcycle. I love this thing and I want to keep riding it. It's obviously my dream bike. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with the little leak here. Someone let me know in the comments down below if you're aware if this is obviously, it seems like an emergency important thing. It was a minor leak, but it still got kind of like everywhere, but little spots. So definitely want to get that checked out before I do anything crazy to it. Next ride will be more of a chill ride with this thing, so we can kind of monitor all that and make sure it's good. I'm worried because a lot of people warned me about the boost temperatures on this thing, especially since this bike has been well over 220 miles an hour multiple times. You know, I'm worried that that might have been a little bit too much with how many times this bike has been pushed. this is my fastest motorcycle. Just to recap, slowest motorcycle is my MV Agusta Rush. Second slowest is my Yamaha R1M. My third slowest motorcycle is my Superveloce 1000 Oro. My fourth slowest motorcycle is my BMW M1000RR. My fifth slowest motorcycle is the Honda Fireblade RR SP. And my sixth slowest motorcycle is my BMW HP4 Race. And then we get to the top three, which is third fastest motorcycle in the collection would be the V4R. Second goes to the Ninja H2, and finally the H2R being the fastest motorcycle on the planet and in this garage. We'll see where the Aprilia RS4 Extrenta ranks in this garage, hopefully when we get her. Wish me luck on that. I really want that bike ASAP. I really want to ride it. It's obviously going to be a little bit of a headache because it is still a track bike. So, you know, we're learning a little bit. We have some experience having two track bikes now. So a third one would be ideal. And I think after that, I'm done with track bikes because I don't think there's even any other track bikes that I'm interested in, or if there is any at all that are cool. So, you know, at that point we'd have the H2R, the HP4 Race, and the Aprilia RS4 Extrenta, and I feel like that's the pinnacle of track bikes. Unless you go for like a MotoGP bike, but that's a little different, you know. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the tour of my slowest to my fastest motorcycle. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see more of these. And like I said, 20,000 likes and I will buy the motorcycle scales and we'll actually weigh these, and we'll do a proper for the stat nerds, which is kind of me. I love the stats and I love the numbers. You know, we can run all these numbers and do a proper weight, power to weight ratio, and maybe even put some of these bikes head to head. You know, that'll be very interesting. You know, one day I want to do that when we need another rider that is similar stats as me and that is also like able to put power down and ride these, you know, properly, so we can get clean races. But there you guys have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out and ride safe.